Hello everyone, welcome aboard. So again we have brought you the new session of Daily Current Affairs Capsule, and this session has been brought to you by Himalayas IAS classes. If you want to join IAS 2021 batch or KS batch in English or Kannada medium, you can visit us at www.himalayasclasses.com, or you can reach out to us on this given number. So what we are going to do in today's session, we will be discussing the current affairs articles from the Hindu newspaper. And before we start that, the significance of this current affairs in the pre as well as mains and in the interview part of the civil services exam. In the prelims, you have a straightforward fact-based question from the current affairs topics. In the mains, you have direct as well as indirect questions, and most of the interview questions are related to the contemporary issues. Now, how to use this session, we'll be telling you what are the important articles from the newspaper, which one to be read. We'll tell you which part of the syllabus they belongs to, both in the prelims as well as the mains. Also, we'll tell you the exam important facts from those articles. So let's get started. The first article today talks about the Supreme Court rejected the Rajasthan's speakers or Rajasthan Legislative Assembly's speaker's plea to stay High Court's proceeding. Okay, so syllabus wise, it is part of the polity, Indian polity, and mains, it is part of general studies paper 2. So, see, the whole issue here is that uh, certain MLAs of the current government in power, they went against that. So, as of now, Congress is in power in Rajasthan, and under Sachin Pilot, some of the MLAs, they have rebelled from the party. So this is a case of anti-defection. So we all know that anti-defection laws, that is a ground for disqualifications of the MLAs or MPs. It was added to the Indian Constitution by 52nd Amendment Act in the 10th schedule. Okay, so actually what happened, before the speaker could have taken a decision, at High Court of the Rajasthan, it has intervened and said to stay this decision of the speaker as part of anti-defection law. So here actually SC wants to take a look at the larger question. See, this anti-defection law and its details, they have been asked previously also in the UPSC examinations in the mains, that if we take away the power of dissent from the MPs or MLAs who represents the people, then aren't we taking away their democratic right? That is the one question. Another question is related to the anti-defection law. See, this horse trading also cannot be allowed. In order to stop this horse trading of the MLAs for making or breaking a government, this law was enacted, the anti-defection law or 10th schedule. But at the same time, it is also taking away the basic independence or freedom of the legislator. So that's the larger question, which Supreme Court has said that it is going to take a look, and then it will come to a judgment. So okay, this is all about anti-defection law and this issue. Next important article today talks about permanent commission of the women officers in the army. So till now they were allowed short service commission, as part of which they could serve in the army in various capacities for 5 years. But now they will be allowed the permanent officers for, let us say, till retirement. Till now they were not eligible. So syllabus wise, prelims, it is the issues related to social and economic development, and issues related to women, they basically are part of general studies paper 1 in the mains. So this order specifies the grant of permanent commission to short selection women officers in all 10 streams of the army in which they presently serve. Okay, they will not be offered the combat role. So other than combat, all the other roles like army aviation, electronics, army defense, signals, ordnance corps, intelligence corps, in all these 10 services, they will be allowed to work till their retirement. Next important article today talks about the Lonar Lake. So this lake was in news. You can see it in the picture. The water has become pink in this lake. Okay. So syllabus wise, part of EVS, and the mains, it is part of general studies paper 3. So first, Lonar Lake is located in Maharashtra. There is also a Lonar Wildlife Sanctuary which is located near to it. This lake was created by a hit of meteorite, okay, in the distant past. So please remember, it was created by a hit of meteorite to the earth, and the water color of this lake, which has become pink, actually this became due to excess of a salt. Okay, because of excess salt, bacteria which developed, and it turned the color of this lake to pink. So please do remember that. Then next article today talks about the foreign policy of India in the present new Cold War scenario between United States and China. So syllabus wise part of international relations, and international relations is part of general studies paper 2. So we all know that after independence during the Cold War era, India followed non-alignment policy. But this article's core argument is that our non-alignment policy must be rethought, because see, the world is not divided into two power blocks. Now it has become a multipolar world. But at the same time, we must be cautious and should not become part of any particular aligned system. Okay, so this was also a part of non-alignment which we should still take care, but we cannot remain non-aligned in this particular time. So article says that, and actually basically this is quoting the S. Jaishankar, the Honorable Foreign Minister of India, that multipolarity in the world necessitated that India would have to take a definite stand and even take risk on the issues such as connectivity, maritime security, terrorism, and climate change. So that means we can, like, you can see that India has become part of Quad, which is India, US, Australia, as well as Japan. Okay, and India does not reject non-alignment in its entirety. Okay, we have never been a part of alliance system like NATO, CETO, which were the alliance system developed during the Cold War era, and never will it be. Okay, and India and China share a land boundary which would always be a factor in the new Cold War between US and China. So although the situation seems like we are moving away from China and towards more towards US, but we should be careful, and still we should not become part of any particular alliance system in the world. Next article today is from the Chinese ambassador to India, and it talks about the national security, law, and peace in the Hong Kong. Okay, so part of the international relations, and international relations is part of general studies paper 2. So this article is actually from the Chinese perspective. As you all know, it is written by the Chinese ambassador himself, but here you can take a look at their side of the story, or what they are trying to put at. That it is in India's interest to maintain stability in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. See, why Special Administrative Region? Till 1997, Hong Kong was a British colony, and then it was given independence under a special arrangement. That the arrangement is nothing but one country, two system, where Hong Kong comes under China, but still maintains sufficient autonomy and administers itself. Okay, so it is in India's interest, as per them, to maintain stability in the Hong Kong region, given the close economic ties and trade ties between India and Hong Kong. Further, it says that the national security law. See, the whole issue is till now it was not possible for Chinese Parliament, or let us say the Communist Party of China, to form a law of national security over the Hong Kong people. This should have been done by the Hong Kong Parliament or the Hong Kong's legislature itself. But that's the whole issue about that. They are taking away this power, and they are framing a law under which they can even take away certain people who are accused of certain violation of laws of national security outside Hong Kong, and then they can be convicted in the China. So after this, we all know that even US has put certain trade sanctions. Even UK has taken away some special privileges given to the Hong Kong for trade. So the China is saying, or their point of view is, law is enacted for the purpose of ensuring resolute, full, and faithful implementation of the policy of one country, two systems. That's what I was talking about, under which the people of Hong Kong administer Hong Kong with a high degree of autonomy. National security legislation belongs to the sovereignty of a country and the authority of the central government. They are just trying to say that it is an internal matter of China, and no outside interference should be allowed. Next important article today, it talks about the escalating tensions between US and China, and that it can be a trouble for the whole world. So again, it belongs to international relation, and international relation belongs to general studies paper 2. So this says that the downward spiral in the US-China relation is bad for the whole world. Especially we have seen that US has asked China to close its consulate, which is located in Houston, in next 72 hours. And what has started as a trade war in the last year has snowballed into a larger geopolitical contest between the two superpowers. As we have seen in the times of the Cold War, the message from the China is that they are ready for a long game of escalation as long as the US keeps playing it. Okay, if this deterioration is not arrested immediately, the US and China risk a total breakdown in the diplomatic relations, which will not be very good for the whole world. Okay. Next article today talks about India and South Korea relations, which has not taken as expected, or which has not grown as per the expectation. So again, syllabus wise, part of international relations, and IR is the part of general studies paper 2. So India and South Korea have signed numerous bilateral agreements with the aim of taking their ties to the next level. However, the economic partnership is struck at 22 billion annually. It is less, and their defense partnership appears to have receded from great all-around promise to the mere sale and purchase of the weapon system. So this is a whole summary of this topic, and what is the step which has been taken by the government of India to promote good relationship between both the countries is the establishment of Indian Cultural Center in the Seoul 10 years ago. Okay, so this more efforts needs to be done, and there is much more than this between both the countries, from which both of them can be benefited. Next article talks about the rapid test which will be developed by India and Israel together. So syllabus wise, part of the science, and science is part of general studies paper 3. So this rapid test will be able to test this COVID-19 within 30 seconds. The technologies to be tested in India include artificial intelligence. Along with that, based online voice test and breathalyzer test, isothermal testing, and testing using polyamino acids. The voice test analyzes the recording of human voice and aims to identify changes in the patient's voice or deterioration in the condition of his respiratory system. Okay, and which will be detecting the virus using terahertz waves. Okay, so this can test, I mean, this is a potential possibility if it can be developed for this COVID-19. Again, isothermal testing, it allows the detection of virus in saliva sample with the help of chemical reaction and produces a result within 30 minutes, while testing using polyamino acids to detect virus protein in a saliva sample. Okay, so this is by voice, the online voice test, and the rest isothermal as well as polyamino is by using the saliva. So these three technologies will be developed by India and Israel together. Next important article today talks about the Chinese first Mars mission, or ambitious Mars mission. So part of science and technology, and science and technology is part of general studies paper 3. So China aims to catch up with India, US, Russia, and European Union. So these are the countries who have been successful in reaching out to the Mars. So please do remember, the Chinese mission aims to complete orbiting, landing, and roving in a single mission. Okay. Now, the rocket which they have used, the name is Long March 5. The name of the mission is Tianwen 1, or which means the quest for heavenly truth 1. And the spacecraft which is there on the rocket, its name is Amal, or the Hope Probe. So please do remember all of this information. Next important article today talks about the manufacturing. So government of India has again decided to provide or create SOAPs, or standard of procedure, standard protocols for 5 sectors where the production linked incentive will be provided. So syllabus wise, part of the economy, and economy is part of GS paper 3. So see, we all know that the economic impact of the COVID-19 situation. So because of which government is providing a lot of incentives to boost manufacturing in India. India is working on offering production link incentive. Means if you do this much of production, we'll give you certain tax rebate or certain reward or certain incentive for up to 5 sectors to boost the domestic manufacturing. Another step. So incentives would be offered to sectors to push manufacturing and help the struggling industries. Already, you know, government has taken various steps as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Also, the government earlier announced the production-linked incentive for the electronic goods for 5 years to attract investment in the mobile phone manufacturing as well as electronic components. Also, in the pharmaceutical units, also similar incentive schemes for production has been provided. Next article today talks about expert panel, which will soon give its reports about the non-personal data. So syllabus wise part of the economy is part of GS paper 3. So please do remember the name of this committee. S. Gopal Krishnan, he is one of the founder of the Infosys, okay, committee on non-personal data sharing framework. So details will be coming, I think, in some days. Just do remember, as Gopal Krishna committee is related to non-personal data sharing framework. And what is non-personal data? It's the data that doesn't contain any personal information. So that data also it can be utilized. So how that use has to be regulated, how everybody has to be benefited, not just few companies. Last article of today talks about the credit platform which is being developed for the micro, small and medium enterprises. So syllabus wise part of the economy, and economy is the part of general studies paper 3. So this credit platform for MSME, it will be countrywide pilot for newly developed credit protocol infrastructure. Who is making it? Indian Software Products Industry Round Table I Spirit. Do remember that. What is the name of that infrastructure? Ocean, or Open Credit Enablement Network. Okay, what it will do? So see, this will work as a meeting platform for the MSMEs who wants loan, and various investors, NBFCs, private equity, venture capital players, angel investors. So it will be a meeting platform for the people who wants to give money and MSMEs who are in the need of money, so that it can facilitate more credit for the MSMEs. So that was all for today's session, guys. This is a list of do's and don'ts which you can follow in order to maximize your chances of selection in the civil services exam. Also, please do not forget to comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, and to press the bell icon so that you can get notified whenever we upload any new video. So thanks a lot for watching, and please stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.